Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, this is Jeebs here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge, dissecting your favorite tracks. The Dillinger Escape Plan, One of Us is the Killer. Now, there's been quite a few people that have been on me for a long time for this, and there's one of you, you know who you are. I'm finally doing this. I'm lobbing this one out there because my pain is your gain, and what I mean by that is, you've been seeing me creeping with this frozen shoulder thing. I can't do anything, man. I tried to swim about an hour ago. I couldn't do it. So a couple more Advils and a little libation, and I'm feeling good. So I decided I'm going to lob one more out there for you. So I want to thank all you guys for your support, for your comments, for those of you, since I've talked about this, been really nice and kind about that. I'll get over it, you know. The older I get, the better I was. I feel like one of those push puppets. Remember the push puppets, like when you were a kid? It's like a little puppet, and then you push the bottom, it would collapse, and then when you released it, it all stood up. That's kind of what I feel like as I'm getting older. Like usual, guys, you guys know that if any advertisement runs on these videos, it doesn't monetize the channel. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, that'd be super cool. Being the link for the coffee, the headsets, my Patreon. Check out how much stuff I got on the Patreon. And also the link for the Dillinger Escape Plan, Spotify, and merch will be down below. All right, guys, let's do this. The Dillinger Escape Plan, One of Us is the Killer. All right. All right, that opening was really disjointed, but beautiful, but perfect. I haven't heard anything quite like this on my channel thus far, especially with that kind of, they kind of pulled it out of the rhythmical pocket with the drums, you know, felt like, you know, triplets that might there, or maybe quintuplets or something like that, that they threw out there, but also the chord changes. It was very soulfully disfiguring. And if that's the image that they wanted to paint, you know, through, you know, my ears into my head, that's what they got. But it was very, very interesting. It was pulling. Then when they came in with the heaviness, what a guitar sound. That was absolutely sick. But I just had to glam on that really quick. There's quite a few layers that are happening there at the beginning. And I'm going to see if I can't pick apart some of that as we move forward. But I had to stop and just kind of glam over that because that was just crazy. I've never heard anything quite like that, and that was super, super cool.
Time
Man, that is just gnarly, man. This is the first time I've ever heard of this band. I don't know if this is their typical soundscape and their discography type of composition and production and musicianship and stuff like that. But this is heavy. It's dark, and I love they're taking what I would consider outside risks in some of the chord choices and how they're taking me down that journey. I mean, it's within its scale, but it's not something that we would be, or for myself, that I would be kind of thinking, is it where there might be some kind of predictability inside the chord changes and stuff. These guys just shattered completely all of that. And then what I loved is in the engineering's been sick. The bass tone is incredible. I love how fat and wide it is, and it really keeps you company right about here. But I also loved when the first guitars came in, excuse me, I wouldn't say it's ground setting punch. Then the second round that came in, there was a slightly different engineering approach in the push. And then this third pass that we're hearing is a completely different round of engineering. Because a lot of times what you can do is you can take a guitar performance and then you duplicate it. And then in something like this, I'm not saying that this is how they did it, but in my mind, I'm thinking, how would I have done that? And then you cut and chop, you get rid of the spaces you want, and then, or the files that you want. And you would treat this file, in a particular way, engineering-wise. Treat this file another way, engineering-wise, and then this file. Even though it's the same performance all the way through, it's just kind of an engineering thing that you do to kind of lift or check, the engineering and stuff. And then the guy's voice is just crazy. Something else that I fully dug about this is something that I think in a lot of, not a lot, but in quite a bit of the music that I've done on this, I talk about the power of an organic performance based on leaving in nuances that, may not be necessarily detectable when you're not listening to it the way I'm listening to it, which is the fact that at the end of phrases, let's say guitar nuances are not cleaned up. A little bit of string noise, hands on the strings as it moves, da 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 da. There could be a little bit of that string noise, or a little bit of the release of the pick from the string, or resting your left hand palm to mute it and leaving that in there as a part of the performance to keep it, to that raw performance. I really dug that. Anyhow, the Dillinger Escape Plan, One of Us is a Killer. Thank you so much for staying on top of me for that. And please let me know if there's any others that you want me to check out. I got to go back and listen again. I'm gonna go back and listen to that first opening, because that really pulled me in. Arrangement and composition wise, that was really super slick. And so I'm gonna go back and check that out and listen to it. So I want to thank you. Look at me. I feel like. I want to thank you guys for hanging out like usual. You guys know, cup of coffee, links, all kinds of stuff is down below. And thank you guys for hanging out. So have a killer night. All right. All right.